Raising capital is the single most useful skill set in any business, not just real estate, not just multifamily, which is, my area of expertise, because in order to get to scale, you have to raise capital. And there's so many different ways to do it, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about like debt versus equity and like structures. But ultimately, whether you're getting like bank financing, that's raising capital, whether you're getting investors, angel investors, equity, private equity, there's so many different ways that you can use capital to expand your business, because what happens to all businesses is the same thing you and I faced, right? Like you kind of get to this point where you're doing really well, then you have to start getting expenses, right? We talked yesterday a lot about what we call the crappy middle, right? Where you're a small business, you're making a lot of money, you get to the middle and you're like, now I have all this overhead because I have to hire people and maybe have locations, and all of these expenses are now coming up. And then once you push through to that, you kind of get to the scale part of the business. And once you get to the scale part of the business, you have to be raising capital to scale and expand. Sometimes right before you hit the crappy middle is where you need the scale.